Liam Haynes leaned back against the sleek leather interior of his car, the engine humming beneath him like a beast waiting to be unleashed. The city lights blurred as he pressed the accelerator, the roar of the engine drowning out the protests of his passenger. "Liam, slow down," his friend, Ryan, shouted over the wind. "Relax." Liam grinned, his dark hair whipping across his forehead. "We're just having fun." The streets of downtown gleamed with rain-slick pavement as Liam swerved dangerously close to the curb. His Maserati skidded into a perfect drift, earning cheers from the group of onlookers gathered at the illegal street race. But the moment of triumph was short-lived. Blue and red lights flashed in the distance, accompanied by the wail of sirens. "Cops!" Ryan yelled. Liam's grin didn't waver. "Then let's give them a show." The night ended in disaster. Liam was dragged home by the police, his father's face dark with fury as he bailed him out yet again. "This is the third time this month, Liam," Robert Haynes said, his voice tight with restrained anger. "When are you going to grow up?" Liam shrugged, leaning lazily against the doorway. "I told you, Dad. I was just having fun." "Fun?" Robert's fist slammed onto the mahogany desk, making Eleanor flinch. "You've turned this family into a laughingstock. Do you have any idea what the media is saying about us?" Eleanor stepped in, her voice softer but no less stern. "Liam, you're not a child anymore. Your actions have consequences, not just for you but for all of us. Nate looks up to you. Is this the example you want to set for him?" Liam's younger brother, Nate, peeked around the corner, his wide eyes filled with both admiration and fear. Liam glanced at him but quickly looked away, guilt briefly flickering across his face before he pushed it down. "What do you want me to do?" Liam asked, his tone sarcastic. "Quit living my life and become your perfect little puppet?" Robert's jaw tightened. "You've left me no choice. If you won't take responsibility on your own, I'll make you." Liam sat in stunned silence as his father laid out the plan. "You're going to marry Emma," Robert said, his tone leaving no room for argument. "The maid?" Liam scoffed, his disbelief quickly turning into anger. "You've lost your mind. She's the only one in this house who knows the meaning of hard work," Robert said. "And maybe, just maybe, she'll teach you something about humility." Liam turned to his mother, hoping for support, but Eleanor simply sighed. "This isn't just about teaching you a lesson, Liam. It's about protecting this family. Your actions have put us all at risk, and we need stability." "Stability?" Liam laughed bitterly. "You think forcing me to marry some nobody is going to fix everything?" Eleanor's gaze hardened. "That nobody saved your brother's life when you couldn't be bothered to answer your phone." Liam froze. "What?" Eleanor's voice softened, but the weight of her words was crushing. "The night Nate had that fever, none of us could reach you. Emma stayed with him all night, cooling his fever and keeping him alive until the doctor arrived." Liam swallowed hard, the guilt he had buried deep finally clawing its way to the surface. The next morning, Liam wandered into the garden, his mood sour. He had barely slept after his parents' ultimatum, and now he was expected to meet the woman who was supposed to fix him. The absurdity of it all made his blood boil. Emma was trimming the hedges, her hair tied back in a loose braid. She worked methodically, her focus entirely on the task at hand. She didn't notice Liam until he cleared his throat. "Hey," he said, crossing his arms. Emma looked up, startled. Her eyes, a calm shade of gray, met his. "Mr. Haynes," she said softly, straightening. "Did you need something?" Liam frowned. "Don't call me that. It's Liam." She nodded but didn't respond, waiting for him to speak. "So," he said, awkwardly shoving his hands into his pockets. "You're the one they want me to marry?" Emma's expression barely changed, but Liam thought he saw a flicker of discomfort. "Yes," she said simply. He studied her for a moment, searching for some sign of ambition or manipulation. "And you're okay with this? Marrying someone you don't even know?" Emma hesitated, then shrugged. "It's not about what I want. Your parents think this is best for you. For the family." Liam laughed bitterly. "Right? Because the family name is all that matters." Emma turned back to the hedge, her voice quiet but firm. You can think what you want, but this isn't about me. It's about you. And if I'm being honest, I don't think you're ready for it. Her words struck a nerve. Liam opened his mouth to argue, but she had already returned to her work, dismissing him as if he didn't matter. Over the next few days, Liam watched Emma from a distance. She moved through the mansion with quiet efficiency, her presence almost invisible. Yet, everyone seemed to respect her, something Liam couldn't quite understand. She was just a maid after all. What made her so special? One afternoon, Liam found her in the kitchen, scrubbing a stubborn pan. He leaned against the doorway, his curiosity finally outweighing his irritation. "Do you ever take a break?" he asked. Emma glanced at him briefly before returning to her task. "Not really." "Why not?" he pressed. "My parents pay you, right? You could probably slack off and get away with it." Emma set the pan down and turned to face him. "Is that what you do?" Liam blinked, caught off guard. "Well, yeah, probably. That's the difference between us," Emma said calmly. "I take pride in my work, even if it's just scrubbing pans." Her words stung more than Liam cared to admit. He left the kitchen without another word, but her quiet strength lingered in his mind. The engagement announcement was fast approaching, and the pressure in the Haynes household was palpable. Robert and Eleanor insisted on a grand party, inviting business partners, socialites, and the media to witness the union that would supposedly save their family's reputation. Emma, meanwhile, kept her head down, enduring the whispers and judgmental stares of the other staff. She had expected resistance, but the weight of it was heavier than she anticipated. Liam, on the other hand, grew increasingly restless. He hated the idea of being paraded around like a trophy, and he hated even more that Emma seemed so indifferent to it all. "You don't have to just take this, you know," he told her one evening as they set up for the party. Emma glanced at him, her expression unreadable. "What do you mean?" "This whole arrangement," Liam said. "You could fight back. Say no." Emma sighed. "And what would that accomplish? Your parents would still find a way to force you into something you don't want. At least this way, we both know where we stand." Liam frowned, frustrated by her logic. "You're too passive, and you're too impulsive," she shot back. "Maybe that's why this might actually work." The engagement dinner was a lavish affair. The ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers, and the air buzzed with the chatter of the Haynes family's wealthy guests. Liam and Emma sat side by side at the head table, their awkward silence masked by polite smiles. As the night wore on, Liam grew more and more agitated. He could feel the judgmental eyes of the guests, hear their whispers about Emma's background and his reputation. "She's the maid, isn't she?" one woman murmured. "What a scandal," another said. "But I suppose the Haynes family had to do something to rein him in." Liam's grip on his wine glass tightened. He glanced at Emma, expecting her to look embarrassed or upset, but she sat calmly, her expression unreadable. After the dinner, Liam confronted her in the hallway. "Doesn't it bother you?" he demanded. "Does what bother me?" Emma asked. "The way they talk about you, like you don't belong here." Emma's gaze softened, but her voice remained steady. "I've heard worse, and honestly, they're right. I don't belong here." Liam frowned. "Then why?" "Because sometimes," she interrupted, "you have to do things you don't want to survive. You, of all people, should understand that." Liam had no response. For the first time, he saw Emma not as the quiet maid forced into his life, but as someone who had faced struggles he couldn't begin to imagine. Unbeknownst to either of them, danger was already closing in. Victor, the man Emma had spent years running from, had finally found her. He stood in the shadows of the mansion's garden that evening, his dark eyes fixed on the windows where the engagement dinner was winding down. "She thought she could hide," he murmured to himself, "but I always find what's mine." Victor didn't wait long to make his presence known. The following evening, while most of the staff were preparing for a charity gala, Emma found a small envelope slipped under her door. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. The handwriting was unmistakable, Victor's jagged scrawl. Inside was a single note: "You can't run forever. I'll see you soon." Emma's heart pounded in her chest. For a moment, the room seemed to close in around her. She thought she had escaped him. She thought the Haynes mansion was her sanctuary. But now, the walls that once felt protective seemed to trap her. She stuffed the note into her pocket and left her room, her mind racing. She needed to warn someone to prepare. But who could she trust? Liam found Emma later that night, pacing the back garden. The moonlight cast a silvery glow on her face, and he noticed the tension in her shoulders. "You're not exactly subtle," he said, leaning against a nearby tree. Emma jumped, spinning to face him. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing," he replied. "You've been acting weird all day. What's going on?" Emma hesitated. She had spent the past few months keeping her past buried, determined to keep the Haynes family out of her problems. But as she looked at Liam, she realized that he wasn't the same careless man she had met weeks ago. There was something different about him now, something that made her think he might actually listen. "It's someone from my past," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "He's dangerous, and he found me." Liam straightened, his playful demeanor vanishing. "Who? What does he want?" Emma sighed, her hands trembling. "His name is Victor. I used to work for him, if you can call it that. He ran a criminal operation, and I found out what he was doing. When I tried to leave, he didn't take it well. So, I turned him in, and now he's out for revenge," Liam finished, his voice tight. Emma nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. "I thought I could start over here. But now, I don't know if I'm safe anymore." Liam's jaw tightened. "You're safe," he said firmly. "As long as I'm here, no one's going to hurt you." The charity gala the following night was a glittering affair, with the who's who of the city gathered in the mansion's grand ballroom. Liam spent most of the evening keeping an eye on Emma, who was helping manage the event from behind the scenes. She looked calm, composed, but he could see the nervous energy beneath her exterior. Halfway through the night, Liam's instincts were proven right. Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a man slipping through the crowd, his face partially obscured by a wide-brimmed hat. There was something about his posture, the way he moved, that set Liam on edge. It wasn't long before the man found Emma in the garden, where she was taking a moment to breathe. Well, Victor said, stepping out of the shadows. "The runaway bride." Emma's blood ran cold. "Victor," she said, her voice shaking. "I told you I'd find you," he sneered. "You've been playing house with the Haynes family, haven't you? Thought their money would keep you safe?" Before she could respond, Liam appeared behind her. His voice was low, dangerous. "You need to leave. Now." Victor smirked, clearly unimpressed. "And who are you?" "The babysitter." "I'm the guy who's going to make sure you never come near her again." Liam shot back, stepping between Victor and Emma. Victor chuckled. "You've got guts, kid. I'll give you that. But you have no idea what you're getting into." Liam didn't waver. "Try me." Before the situation could escalate further, security arrived, alerted by Liam's earlier suspicion. Victor was escorted off the property, but his parting words sent a chill through the air. "This isn't over, Elena." Not by a long shot. After Victor's departure, Emma broke down in the library, the weight of her fear finally overwhelming her. Liam found her there, curled up in an armchair, her face buried in her hands. "Hey," he said softly, sitting across from her. "It's okay. He's gone. For now," Emma whispered, her voice trembling. "But he'll come back. He always does." Liam reached out, hesitating for a moment before placing a hand on hers. "Then we'll deal with him. Together." Emma looked up, her tear-streaked face filled with doubt. "Why do you care? This isn't your problem." "Because you're not just the maid to me anymore," Liam said. You're more than that. And I'm not going to let anyone hurt you." For the first time, Emma saw a side of Liam she hadn't expected. Protective, vulnerable, and genuine. Over the next few weeks, Liam and Emma worked together to prepare for Victor's inevitable return. Liam reached out to his father's contacts in law enforcement, sharing what little Emma could remember about Victor's operation. Meanwhile, Emma dug through her old files, hoping to find anything that could bring Victor down for good. Their late-night strategy sessions in the library became a strange routine. They argued, laughed, and shared stories about their lives, slowly building a bond neither of them had expected. One night, as they pored over documents, Liam leaned back in his chair and studied Emma. "You're stronger than you think, he said. Emma looked up, surprised. "What do you mean?" "I mean, you've been through hell, and you're still standing," Liam said. "That's more than I can say for a lot of people." Emma smiled faintly, her walls beginning to crack. "You're not as shallow as I thought you were." "Careful," Liam teased. "You're starting to sound like you actually like me." Emma rolled her eyes, but the warmth in her gaze lingered. Victor didn't wait long to strike again. One evening, as Liam was heading to a business meeting, his car was sabotaged. The brakes failed, sending him skidding dangerously close to a collision. He managed to escape unscathed, but the message was clear. Victor wasn't just targeting Emma anymore. When Liam returned to the mansion, he found Emma waiting for him in the foyer, her face pale with worry. "What happened?" she asked. "Victor," Liam said grimly. "He's stepping up his game." Emma's hands clenched into fists. "This is my fault. He's after me, not you." Liam shook his head. "He made it my problem the moment he came after you. We're in this together now, Emma." The tension reaches a boiling point when Victor kidnaps Nate to lure Emma out of hiding. The final showdown takes place in an abandoned warehouse, where Liam and Emma, backed by law enforcement, face Victor and his men. The stakes are higher than ever, with Nate's life hanging in the balance. The Haynes family's worst fears were realized when Nate disappeared. It happened on a rainy evening, just as the family sat down for dinner. A maid rushed into the dining room, pale and shaking. "Nate's gone," she stammered. "We found his room empty, and this was on his bed." She handed Robert a small envelope. Inside was a photograph of Nate, tied to a chair, his face streaked with tears. Beneath it, a single sentence scrawled in sharp black ink. "Bring Elena. Come alone, or the boy dies." Emma's hand flew to her mouth as her knees nearly buckled. Liam was at her side instantly, steadying her. "It's him," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Victor." Robert slammed the note onto the table. "Call the police," he barked. "No," Emma blurted out. "He said to come alone. If he sees the police, he'll hurt Nate." Liam stepped forward, his jaw tight. "We're not doing this his way. We're going to find Nate and we're going to end this." The family gathered in the study, the air thick with tension. Robert paced back and forth, barking orders into his phone, while Eleanor sat in stunned silence, clutching a photograph of Nate. Liam leaned over a map spread across the desk. "He said to come alone," he muttered. "That means he's expecting you, Emma." Emma paled. "You're not seriously suggesting I go?" "It's a trap," Liam said. "But if we play this right, we can turn it against him." Robert looked up, his face grim. "We don't have time for half-baked plans, Liam. My son is out there, and he's my brother," Liam snapped. "You think I'm going to sit here and let Victor win?" The two men locked eyes, but it was Emma who broke the silence. "I'll do it," she said softly. Everyone turned to her, stunned. "I'll go to him," Emma continued, her voice steady. "If it means saving Nate, I'll do whatever it takes." "No," Liam said firmly. "You're not doing this alone." Emma looked at him, her eyes filled with both fear and determination. "Then what do we do?" The address Victor had included in the note led them to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. It was a sprawling, decaying structure, its windows broken and its walls covered in graffiti. The air was thick with the smell of rust and oil. Emma stepped out of the car first, her heart pounding. She could see Victor's silhouette through the broken glass of the upper windows. A single flickering light inside cast eerie shadows across the room. Liam followed close behind, ignoring Emma's protests. "I told you, I'm not letting you do this alone," he said. Emma sighed but didn't argue. Together, they entered the warehouse, their footsteps echoing on the concrete floor. Victor's voice rang out from the shadows. "Ah, Elena. Right on time." The sound of Nate's muffled cries reached Emma's ears, and her heart sank. She spotted him tied to a chair in the center of the room, a single overhead bulb casting harsh light on his small, trembling form. Victor stepped into the light, flanked by two men armed with pistols. "You've caused me a lot of trouble, Elena," he said, his smile cold. "But tonight, it ends." Liam stepped in front of Emma, his body tense. "Let the boy go, Victor. This is between you and her." Victor chuckled. "Ah, the gallant fiancé. How noble of you." He gestured to his men. "But I'm afraid it's too late for negotiations." As the men raised their weapons, a loud crash echoed through the warehouse. The sound of shattering glass drew everyone's attention to the upper windows, where a team of police officers burst in, rappelling down ropes with precision. "You think I wouldn't call for backup?" Liam said, a triumphant grin spreading across his face. Chaos erupted. Victor's men opened fire, their shots ringing out in the cavernous space. The police returned fire, their movements swift and coordinated. Liam grabbed Emma's hand and pulled her behind a stack of crates. "Stay down," he ordered, his voice urgent. "What about Nate?" Emma cried. Liam peeked over the crates, his eyes scanning the room. Victor was dragging Nate toward the back exit, using the boy as a shield. "I'll get him," Liam said, his voice firm. "No!" Emma grabbed his arm. "It's too dangerous." Liam turned to her, his expression fierce. "He's my brother. I'm not losing him." Liam's fists clenched as he squared off against Victor, the cold concrete floor beneath them slick with spilled oil. Victor was taller and more imposing, but Liam didn't back down. His mind raced. This wasn't just about saving Nate anymore. It was about proving to himself and to Emma that he could be the person they needed. Victor sneered. "You're out of your depth, kid. Do you even know what kind of man you're dealing with?" "I don't care who you are," Liam shot back. "You don't touch my family." With a sudden burst of speed, Victor lunged at Liam, sending them both crashing to the floor. Liam grunted as the impact knocked the wind out of him, but he managed to twist free, rolling to his feet. The fight was brutal. Victor's punches were heavy and unrelenting, but Liam fought with a ferocity fueled by desperation. He dodged a wild swing and countered with a solid punch to Victor's jaw, sending the older man staggering. Emma, meanwhile, worked frantically to untie Nate. The boy's sobs broke her heart, but she kept her voice steady. "It's okay, Nate. I've got you. Just hold still." "Emma, hurry," Liam called out, his voice strained as he blocked another blow from Victor. Finally, Emma freed Nate from the ropes. She pulled him into her arms, shielding him as the fight raged on. "Stay behind me, sweetheart," she whispered, her hands trembling but steady. Victor growled, his eyes darting to Emma and Nate. "You think this is over?" he spat. "I'll make you regret this." Liam saw the distraction and took his chance. With a surge of adrenaline, he grabbed a nearby metal rod and swung it at Victor's legs. The man crumpled to the ground with a pained shout. "Not today," Liam muttered, panting as he stood over Victor. Police officers rushed in moments later, their weapons drawn. Two officers cuffed Victor while the others secured his remaining men. Liam turned to Emma, his chest heaving. "Is Nate okay?" Emma nodded, her arms still wrapped protectively around the boy. "He's safe, thanks to you." The days following Victor's capture were a blur of police reports, media coverage, and emotional recovery. The Haynes family, once fractured by mistrust and resentment, began to heal in the wake of the crisis. Robert and Eleanor, who had always struggled to connect with Liam, saw him in a new light. For the first time, Robert placed a hand on his son's shoulder and said, "I'm proud of you." Liam, unused to praise from his father, simply nodded. But the words stayed with him. Emma, meanwhile, found herself adjusting to a new reality. For years, she had lived in fear of Victor, always looking over her shoulder. Now, with him behind bars, she felt an unfamiliar sense of freedom. One evening, as she stood on the balcony overlooking the garden, Liam joined her. "You okay?" he asked, leaning on the railing beside her. Emma nodded. "It still feels strange. Not having to run anymore." Liam glanced at her, his expression soft. "You're not alone anymore, Emma. You don't have to face anything by yourself." She smiled, her eyes glistening. "Thank you, Liam, for everything." "You don't have to thank me," he said. "I should be thanking you. You've changed me more than I ever thought possible." The Haynes mansion was transformed into a haven of light and warmth for the wedding. The once forced arrangement had evolved into something genuine, something real. The guest list was small, just family and a few close friends, but the intimacy of the event made it all the more meaningful. Emma walked down the aisle in a simple but elegant gown, her steps steady and her heart full. Liam waited for her at the altar, his eyes never leaving hers. As the officiant spoke, Emma's thoughts drifted to everything they had overcome. Her fears, his recklessness, the danger that had almost torn them apart. But as she looked at Liam, she saw the man he had become. Strong, kind, and unflinchingly loyal. When it came time to exchange vows, Liam's voice was steady. "Emma, you've shown me what it means to be brave, to care about something bigger than myself. I promise to protect you, to stand by you, and to make you laugh when life feels too heavy. You're my reason to be better, and I'll never stop trying to deserve you." Emma's voice was soft but resolute. "Liam, you've taught me that not everyone runs when things get hard. You stayed when it mattered most, and you reminded me what it feels like to trust. I promise to stand by you, to believe in you, and to love you, for who you are and who you'll become." The applause was warm and genuine as they exchanged rings, sealing their vows. For the first time in their lives, both Liam and Emma felt like they belonged, together, as partners. In the weeks that followed, the Haynes family settled into a new rhythm. Liam took on more responsibility in the family business, proving to his father that he was ready to lead. Emma, no longer a maid, began exploring her own passions, finally free to dream about the future. One afternoon, as Liam and Emma walked hand in hand through the garden, Nate ran up to them, his face glowing with excitement. "Can we play soccer now?" he asked, tugging at Liam's sleeve. Liam grinned. "Only if you're ready to lose." Emma laughed, watching as the two brothers raced toward the open field. For the first time in years, she felt a sense of peace, a feeling that no matter what came next, they could face it together. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the garden in a warm golden glow, Emma knew that the life she had once dreamed of was finally within her reach.